So that was a really great class on Thursday. I very much appreciated the hard work that I saw, especially in the SST part. Just a reminder, the Weebly where you can turn it in is right here, and we'll give you feedback when you turn it in. You can turn in as many times as you want, and then the extra credit goes right here. And if you are questioning whether something that you've done might count for extra credit, just reach out to us and we'll let you know. So here's week 8. As you can see, the PowerPoint from Thursday is attached right there, and then the revised calendar is attached there. And the support video will go here very, very soon. I just wanted to kind of point out a few things. So for those of you who were in class, as long as you all turn in, each person in your group turns in your SST meeting notes, then you will, or a meeting agenda into the assignment here, then you'll get the points for that. And this is a template. This Browning PowerPoint actually goes through and talks about different interventions that are really useful. So you might want to take a look at that. And of course, here's the websites that I recommended. And if you weren't in class for some reason, then please contact me so I can talk to you about ways that you can make up the assignment. So. And then here's the critical reflection. So I just wanted to briefly go over this, and really you're using your textbook, the Bombara, the websites, the modules, the in-class presentations and activities, and your own experience to reflect on the following questions. So one is, name 3 ways trauma may affect a student's ability to learn, and how will you support your students in your classroom who may have dealt with trauma in the past. The second one is, how can you explicitly educate your students in an age-appropriate manner about one of the following topics. So one of the big things here is that we know that explicitly teaching students about different issues and skills will actually help them learn those skills. And so I just picked some big ones that there's actually a lot of stuff online if you even wanted to Google a lesson plan around, for example, teaching self-regulation to 3rd graders. I know that's out there. Relaxation techniques is another thing, but I just want you to kind of develop a mini lesson on how you will help your students learn all of these different topics. Then what are some barriers and benefits to the SST meeting? So remember, we talked in class, at the end of class, of some things that could happen that make the SST meetings very difficult. But also when you come together with colleagues, you can, there's a lot of benefits about really focusing on a student and trying to come up with ways to help them and monitor that help and all that good stuff. So. And then I said, how can you use this experience at your school site to support students? And do you have any additional questions about the process? And then the final one is, I went to Edutopia has done a really nice job of looking at trauma and resilience and what teachers can do. So these are just some links to some articles that they have posted over the last year or few years that may be interesting. And I just want you to choose one. And then I want you to reflect on how that will impact you as a teacher. And so that's Critical Reflection 5, and it's due on the 1st. And this was due in class, but of course you have until the 1st as well to turn that in. The second part that came up was around the teacher writing a resume for teacher education. So I found this article, Teacher Education Resume Examples, and she does a really nice job of going through and really focusing on how you want to write a resume for a teaching job. So really highlighting your education and credentials. The fact that you're in the program at USD is a really good thing to highlight, and you might want to kind of beef up some of the things that you've been learning in your coursework. So lesson planning, PBIS, but spell it out, positive behavior interventions and supports, restorative practices, so that you can demonstrate that you're really learning all these important skills for the classroom. And then any sort of relevant teaching experience. So you're going to actually go through and you'll talk about the different practicums, observations that you've done, if you've done any tutoring, if you've gone on your global experience. So just go through and highlight all of those different things and what you did with them. And it's not really about the duties like graded papers or that type of thing, but it's actually about the accomplishments of doing that. So, focusing on, supporting English language learners in reading practices. Tailor each resume to the job. Now that's a little bit harder to do, but you know that you want to be working in a classroom, and you want to, in San Diego, and then you probably know what grade level you're looking for, or at least range, and what topics you really feel confident about your skills. So oftentimes, people feel more confident in the English and reading and that type of literacy type of skills, and other people are like, no, I really want to beef up the math or science program. Or maybe you have some skills in dance or art or visual and performing arts. So whatever it is that you bring to the job, you want to highlight that. If you've been in the business world or the business sector before, then there are skills that around communication and problem solving and teamwork and organization that you can really focus on and highlight, that you bring these skills to the job. And you can do that in the objectives part at the very top. You can do this within listing your jobs and really highlighting the different skills that your past jobs had, even if they weren't in the education sector, that really play into you being a better teacher. The format is important. There's a lot of different formats, but in education, we're not that creative, to be honest. So you want to make sure you've got the headings. You use bolds to kind of pull out the different pieces. But if you use kind of the traditional format of objective, education, work experience, volunteer experience. I would actually put the volunteer experience before the work experience, because that's where you're going to highlight a lot of your educational experiences or experiences within the education system. And then I would put after that the work experience. I would probably limit it, depending on how many jobs you've had, to probably 2 or 3. And then I would definitely include my qualities and focus. That's also where you focus on, like, you have technology skills or whatever. So once again, you can use examples of the resume to get information. So maybe look online, do some searches around teaching resumes. And then, of course, make sure that it's edited. People are looking for you to make a mistake on a resume. So if you have a typo or spacing is odd or that type of thing, that is going to be noticed. So that's another reason why we're really going to focus on trying to take a look at each other's Weebly's and sites. So once again, here's an example that this website has, and I'm going to be giving you the URL for this as well. So yeah, and then here is the different types of resumes. And remember that you also should have a cover letter with your resume, and that just goes through and talks about like your journey as far as how you decided to go into education. And so there's some examples here as well. And then you can also, on your Weebly site, that might be your homepage, where you talk about, like, this is why I want to be a teacher. And now we use a lot of emails, so you may be cutting and pasting that same section into emails when you're applying for jobs. So hopefully this is helpful, and like I said, I'll give you the URL. I hope you had a wonderful last few days, and I hope you have some time to take care of yourself over the weekend. And as always, if you have any questions, or you want us to take a look at anything, then feel free to reach out. All right, have a great day. Bye.